Hello, this is Daily Recall for March 29th, 2026. I'm Tom Stoukas, coming to you from Sarnia, Ontario. And it's the end of the weekend. What's going on? Obviously, the Iran war is the top subject. Bombing, lots of bombs going off in Israel, Lebanon, Iran, Kuwait. And the big story, they're bombing each other all weekend. The big story is the U.S. troops top 50,000 in Middle East as Pentagon eyes Iran raids. So instead of an invasion, they're calling it a raid. So we'll see if that happens, what happens, where they attack, if they attack, where and if. Pretty sure they're going to attack, but where and how. And on the Canadian side, I guess they picked the NDP leader, Avi Lewis, I think his wife's Naomi Klein, who did the shock doctrine. And I don't think it's going to make a difference. The NDPs are just, you saw if you looked at their convention this weekend, it was just all woke nonsense. Like, they're the woke party, the rump party, and the Liberals are probably ecstatic because they're not going to be a threat to them like when Jack Layton was leader. So yeah, that's the top kind of Canadian news. But Iran is obviously the dominant story because it affects all these other countries. Like, it affects Canada, affects a lot of poorer countries that are getting shocked right now with high gas prices and shortages. So it's crazy if they do this invasion. We'll see how high oil will go. So let's read this. The troop buildup follows U.S. and Israeli airstrikes under Operation Epic Fury, launched February 28th, so over a month ago, against Iran's nuclear sites, missiles, and leaders, prompting Iranian missile retaliation on Israel and U.S. allies. Recent reinforcements include 3,500 sailors and Marines on the USS Tripoli and thousands from the 82nd Airborne Division arriving soon, as planners outline weeks-long Special Forces raids on key Iranian targets. White House press, you notice how they're calling it raids. So maybe they can say, oh, they did a couple raids and that's it. Like, they want to avoid an actual ground invasion, like regular, like full army ground invasion. Maybe just call it raids. It's a raid. White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt affirmed President Trump's readiness to act decisively, while Iranian officials warn of heavy consequences, and Israeli media reports no ground commitment for their side. Surprise. They're too busy invading Lebanon, I guess. So it's weird because now there's headlines coming out, Trump saying all these positive things, like, progress is being made, this and that. It's like, you're ready to invade a country. So obviously he's talking to the market, to investors. He's trying to make it sound like everything's going great. So markets are open soon in a few hours. So, I mean, he can only do this for so long, you know. Oh, the war's still going, and then he says, oh, it's over, and then just totally contradicting himself and reality. Like, there's a war going on. Now, there may or may not be peace talks. Who knows? Who knows? There probably is some sort of talk, like even informal, but they're like bombing the shit out of each other still. So, but he's just on time now, Sunday night before the markets open. He's got to say, who knows? Well, let's see what he's saying anyway. So, let's go to this. Israeli media reports that if the United States carries out a ground operation in Iran, it would have to go alone, with Israeli forces not participating on the ground. Yes. I mean, why do it when you could just send the Americans? But like I said, they're invading Lebanon, so they're gonna have their hands full, and they're terrorizing Palestinians, so they got too much to do. They have to send the Americans to raid Iran. Okay. So yeah, Israel's not participating in the ground invasion. Okay. Here's a White House statement tonight. President Trump does not bluff. He's prepared to unleash hell. Iran should not miscalculate again. Iran has been defeated militarily, and any violence beyond this point will be because Iran refused to understand they have already been defeated. Okay. U.S. says Iran operation resounding military triumph. It looks like it's still going, though. I'm just seeing lots of bombing going on. And I thought they bombed, they killed the parliament speaker, but apparently it looks like he's still alive. He says Iranian forces are ready to rain fire on U.S. soldiers if they invade. So, yeah, it looks like the war's still going on. It doesn't look like they've been defeated yet. So, let's keep going here. Okay. Okay. So yeah, that's the big story today, is this ground invasion talk. This is funny. Also, President Trump weighing a military operation to extract nearly 1,000 pounds of uranium from Iran, according to U.S. officials, as a complex and risky mission that would likely put American forces inside the country for days or longer. Yeah, I read about this, like the complexity of invading Iran and finding all this uranium. I guess it'd be encased in all this metal canisters, and getting it out of the country without getting blown up and spreading radiation all over. The chances, it's a very difficult mission. They're making it sound like a Michael Bay movie. Oh, let's just go in and grab it. Where's Nicolas Cage? Yeah. There's going to be so much misinformation now. We're not even getting any information like on casualties and what the hell's really going on. It's so weird. There's another one. Trump weighs military operation to extract Iran's uranium. So easy. President hasn't made a decision. U.S. officials said as he considers the risk to U.S. troops. It's going to be crazy if he actually goes in with troops. So far, it's just been air raids and bombings from the areas. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't sound like a good idea. Let's go find some uranium that could be scattered anywhere in Iran. Some people are saying like that's just a reason. It's that mission is not really a feasible mission, but it's a way to get the U.S. into it more, deep into Iran. I wonder who would like that. I wonder who would want that. All right. This one, what usually amazes me is that Americans actually believe that their infantry can stay for days. Here's my humble question. Which structure is able to shelter these forces from 200 drone shells per hour tents? So yeah, it's a lot of rosy talk about this invasion business. It's like, oh, it's just a raid, or it's only gonna be a few days, or it's just a raid. It's not an invasion. Like, it's a lot of optimistic, best case scenario talk. And as you know, from wars, there's always a wrench thrown into the works. Yeah, I don't know how true that is, weighing a risky military operation. All right. Yeah, my account's still locked, I know. Let's just go for my regular feed then. That was the top story, though, is the talk of invasion, the buildup of troops. And then I guess the Houthis are officially in the game. We talked about this last night, but it's official. And they're in the Red Sea area where they can close the strait. There's a very narrow strait that goes into the Red Sea from the ocean to the Red Sea, and then you can go through the Suez Canal. So they said we're going to close that, just like the Hormuz. So yeah, Houthis, and I guess they're firing hypersonic missiles at Israel, so that's another country. Okay. Let's keep going here. We'll just go on my regular feed. Hopefully I get my Tuesday morning, I'll get back on X. I haven't posted all week. I'm not allowed to. Okay. Okay. This is funny. To understand Trump's greatness, the number of times America has defeated a country. 2 times, Germany. Japan once. Iran 18. Because he keeps saying we won. He's declared victory 18 different times. All right. Here's another one. Trump, he's on Air Force One, so he's giving all these quotes. He's giving all these quotes, crazy quotes, on a Sunday before the markets open. Trump, to be honest with you, my favorite thing is to take the oil in Iran. But some stupid people back in the US say, why are you doing that? But they're stupid people. Yeah. All right. So he wants to take the oil. That'll go well. Okay. This is a big headline too. Trump saying, I guess he said this on Air Force One too, it's 20 large oil tankers to transit Strait of Hormuz under a U.S. escort starting tomorrow morning. So that's obviously aimed at the oil markets. And there was a big bet, like a multi-million-dollar bet today, I guess, on the futures, oil futures, that basically they're betting that oil will go down, the price. So this looks like Trump's trying to talk oil down when the market opens tomorrow. Who knows who's making this money? So 20 large oil tankers. Who knows how true, you don't know what's true or not with this guy. So this guy commented, crude oil prices only dropped $1 after this new taco, which is Trump always chickens out. That's it. Objectively, we're getting close to the point where nobody believes him anymore. Not even soulless trading algorithms. Yeah. The law of diminishing returns. But I heard today that they're gaming out the government, U.S. government, and like oil analysts are studying or preparing for $200 a barrel oil, which is crazy. If it goes 200 barrel, oh my God. We'll be all walking. I got the motorcycle out today. Got to ride the motorcycle now because it's cheaper on gas. Market's ripping higher Monday. Okay. I think he's saying something else, like, he said something else positive, saying, oh, like, Iran has given most of the points of Washington's 15-point plan and the close to a deal. Like, he says this every Sunday night now for the last 4 weeks. What's this one? Attacks on Iraq, Jordan, Kuwait, UAE, Bahrain, and Saudi Arabia by Iran. So a lot of action this weekend. What's this one? Okay. Here's this. Iran war is less popular than the Vietnam War in the final year. By that time, over 50,000 Americans had died. That's how unpopular this is. And it doesn't matter. Your government is owned by Jews and they want Iran destroyed. So war it is. Yeah, like, I started not listening to Trump when it comes to Iran. Because he's just the mouthpiece. He's just the misdirection. He's just the guy to sow confusion. The real decisions are being made by Israel. They've already decided a long time ago that they want to destroy Iran because it's like an obstacle to their plans. So, like, we weren't, we're going to get... You had Mark Levin last night arguing why we need boots on the ground there, and Israeli officials have said this too before, like, we need boots on the ground, American boots on the ground. So it's clear from the start that this was the plan. Like, this, everything Trump says about talks and progress and war's over, and this, it's all just BS. Really, you got to listen to Netanyahu. And so far, Netanyahu said this war isn't ending. Not on my watch. That's who you got to listen to. Like, Trump's just, at this point, the way he's going, talking, because he talks all day, every day, which is weird. I mean, I guess it's better than hiding, but like certain people, but he talks, but everything, how long before nobody takes him seriously? Like, it's weird. It's weird. Like, he's playing 62-dimensional chess with us, I guess. Okay. So now it's, okay, they're talking about the invasion. They're saying it's only going to be for a few weeks, the invasion. Like, I don't know how you can say that. It's not like it goes on a schedule when you invade a country. Okay. Yeah, we were talking about Wab Canute calling this war Epstein war. He says all these conservatives... Look at Trump, looks horrible in this video I'm looking at. Oh my God. So anyway, everybody's calling all these conservatives pro-Israel, Zio shills are calling Wab Canute anti-Semitic for calling them pedophile elites, the Epstein class. Then it says, congratulations, you're a pedophile protector. They're Wyatt Claypool. Check his hard drive. Trump is part of the Epstein class and he's not Jewish. Fuck all the way off with your pedo protecting asses. Yeah, like, they're just shills for Israel. At least they're coming to, the masks are falling. We know who you are. Okay. Let's keep going here. I just looking on what my feed gives me because I can't really save anything and organize anything here. Okay. But I've seen lots of stuff like people saying, you know, it's going to get more dire, the situation. So, like a lot of countries are suffering already. And like you could see like really big unrest in those countries. Egypt shut down their shops at 9 p.m. War economy mode, they're calling it. 4 days after the IM. Okay, so they're doing work from home, probably to save gas. Turkey's central bank burned through 30. Anyway, they're in trouble now. Turkey's feeling the pinch. All these countries, Pakistan, they're short on fuel. I know Philippines is in a state of emergency. South Korea, India, all these like poorer countries. It's going to affect us too. I mean, at least we got a lot of oil, thankfully in Canada. If they even if they don't want to use it, at least we have it. And this is, we were talking about this yesterday. They hit a base in Saudi Arabia, I guess, and they destroyed an AWAC plane, which is like really expensive surveillance, and like it kind of does radar and stuff in real time. And then 2 refueling tankers. So it's those planes allow the Air Force to control the skies in Iran, so it's like they're taking out those planes, those support planes, not the fighter jets, but the support planes. So, yeah, this war ain't ending. They're lying. This one, Israel got hit. Fox News confirmed that Iranian missile completely penetrated defense systems and hit a chemical factory. Southern Israel, the thick toxic smoke is forcing residents to stay in their homes. Yeah. It's not ending anytime soon, I don't think. Oh. Look at this NDP convention. Let's watch this.
The balloting co-chairs are returning, I believe. Now balloting co-chairs. There is a point. Let's hear the point on microphone 1.
I'm sorry, just real quick, point of personal privilege. I understand there's very little time and for delegates to speak, but early on the mic, it's hard as a racialized and transgender delegate to sometimes use this card and speak up, speak to somebody in front of me in line and ask, hey, this pertains to multiple intersecting parts of my lived experience. I'd like to speak.
Okay, so there's your NDP party in Canada. I don't think the Liberals are too worried about that. It's crazy. So yeah, we'll see what happens tomorrow. What Trump says just before the market opens. Okay. Trump tells reporters that Iran has given the U.S. 20 boats of oil, which will be going through the Strait of Hormuz starting tomorrow morning. I don't think they're going to give them 20 boats of oil, but...
Find it exactly what they gave us, I think out of a sign of respect. We also are dealing directly, and as you know, they've agreed to send 8 boats 2 days ago, and then they added another 2, so it was 10 boats. And now today they gave us as a tribute, I don't know.
A tribute.
Find it exactly, but they gave us, I think out of a sign of respect, 20 boats of oil, big boats of oil, going through the Hormuz Strait. And that's taking place starting tomorrow morning. Over the next couple of days, a lot of boats.
So yeah, who knows what's going on? I don't know what he's talking about, but we'll find out tomorrow. Okay. All right. This is in Baghdad. Camp Victory in Baghdad is on fire. Flames exploding higher as Iran strikes slammed directly into the American base in Iraq's capital. I thought they were already out of Iraq. Maybe that's the embassy. And here's Trump talking
You
about.
had offered that 15-point plan to Iran. Did they ever come back with a response?
They came back with
What
the
did-
15-point
What did they
plan.
say?
They gave us most of the points. Why wouldn't they?
You make it sound like they've made some concessions. Can you identify
Well,
those?
they're agreeing with us on the plan. I mean, we asked for 15 things, and for the most part, we're going to be asking for a couple of other things. And just to prove that they're serious, they gave us all these votes. What I talked about 4 days ago, a present, I said they gave me a present, but I didn't think I was at liberty to say what it was. What it was 8 plus 2. It's 10 massive boatloads of oil. And today they gave us another present. They gave us 20 boatloads of oil. That starts being shipped tomorrow. We're having very good meetings, both directly and indirectly, and I think we're getting a lot of very important points.
Sir, were you caught off guard?
So the way it sounds is like everything's going great. They're all buddies. Who knows? Meanwhile, they're like, he's saying, I think we'll make a deal with Iran after recent diplomatic efforts. Well, you're ready to invade the country and you're bombing the country. Like Tehran's getting bombed. It's like, it's kind of weird. But it's every weekend now before the market opens. All these rosy headlines start coming out. All right. Here's this. I guess so. They bombed some electrical plants. So look, they're in the dark now, I guess. After part of Tehran was plunged into darkness by the United States and Israel starts targeting electricity infrastructure, people of Iran still continued their chant for revenge. All right. Okay, so yeah, they're bombing the capital, knocking out the power, but they're close to a deal. Military Israel is targeting weapons production sites in Tehran. Yeah, I don't know if they're making a deal. U.S. continues escalating strikes, Iranian power infrastructure. Iran retaliates. It appears the U.S. has gone ahead, started striking Iranian power infrastructure. Iran will almost certainly retaliate by striking essential infrastructure across the region. Hitting power and desalination plants across the region will further impact energy production and exports, compounding energy supply and rising prices even if the Strait of Hormuz opened 100%. Okay. Yeah, I don't see how they're having a deal, they're close to a deal when they're bombing electrical infrastructure. But, you know. Okay. Basically, that's the point today. They've been bombing each other all weekend. And then come Sunday night, it's all these rosy headlines start coming out. Close to a deal. Strait of Hormuz oil is open. We're going to get 10 free boats of oil. Because I would only say that we're doing Trump. I would only say we're doing well. We're doing extremely well in that negotiation, but you never know with Iran because we negotiate with them and then we always have to blow them up. So yeah, it's hard. I don't know. Like I said, basically, like I said before, listening to Trump's a waste of time. The one you want to listen to is who's in Israel, what they say, literally what the Israeli news says, sourced from government officials, is what you should be listening to. And if you listen to them, it's going to means the war's full steam ahead. Unless the U.S., totally breaks with Israel and pulls out of this war, it's full steam ahead. Everything else is just noise. What's this guy saying? Got a feeling tomorrow is going to be a different kind of Monday. So he's referring to the markets. Because when they hear these rosy headlines, they've just snapped up. And people are like, why is oil so low? Like analysts and stuff, it's like, how is oil still so low? Because it's all these rosy headlines. Lying, I guess. Okay. A couple more headlines we'll look at and then we'll call it a night. But yeah, all these rosy headlines come out Sunday night. It's funny. There it is. President Trump says Iran gave U.S. most of the 15 demands it sent in negotiations. Meanwhile, Iran is like, we're not even talking to them. So it's, maybe they are talking to them. Here's this guy, Joe Kent, former U.S. counterterrorism director, issues stark warning. He states that before any peace negotiations can happen, the Trump administration must aggressively restrain Israel and explicitly forbid any further offensive actions. Otherwise, the entire Middle East will burn. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. They can't restrain. How are you going to restrain Israel? Like, they literally running the show. Like, even Trump keeps talking about a deal. I think it's just noise. I hope I'm wrong. Let's see what he says.
Circling back to what we began with, if President Trump is going to get us out of the situation that we're in right now, step one, before any kind of negotiations, he has to restrain the Israelis. He has to say to them, you will not take any more offensive actions. I am working towards a negotiation. If you do, without our permission, it will change our relationship and you will lose support from us. I personally think, and I know we probably disagree here, I think President Trump has the type of personality where he could flip the table in a very Trumpian manner on the Israelis and reassert our dominance and take us on a whole new course that actually puts us in a much better place. That's what I'm praying for right now. And that's what has to happen.
That's not going to happen.
If we're going to regain essentially our sovereignty and pull us back from the brink of this disaster we're tumbling towards in the Middle East.
All right.
Kind of circling back to what we began with.
So that's kind of where we're at. Either Trump puts a leash on the Israelis to stop escalating and he gets out of it, or it goes full blown. I think they already decided it's going in. Just by Mark Levin's show last night, which Trump said for everybody to watch. What they're saying is, oh, we got to get the uranium. We got to go in. So, we'll see where that goes. I'm sure there'll be lots to follow. So, I'll be back April 1st. And I'm sure there'll be lots of stuff going on. I'll be back on X by then. And we'll see where this war goes. Maybe it'll be over. Maybe Trump's will be right. So until April 1st, Have a nice night. I'll talk to you then.